Rob Waits.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks. I want to appreciate the neighborhood, or the Rosehill Neighborhood Association for having this, and Barry Burnson for coming out to moderate it. I appreciate there's one person in the audience I need to recognize, which is my wife, Susan. She's there in the back. Without her love and support, wouldn't be here today. So I appreciate her giving me the go-ahead to run for mayor once again. I was mayor for one term and also on the city council for one term. The reason I decided to run for mayor was I didn't like the way the city was going. It wasn't going in the direction I'd like to see. So I decided to run for mayor, became mayor. We spent a lot of time in our downtown area. That's a key area. We ended up buying the River Falls Mall and Lounge. With that, we converted it on over to condominiums. Unfortunately, on my 11th day on the job, we had the major fire that destroyed almost a full block of Jeffersonville, which we were able to go ahead and get rebuilt. And I think everybody should be extremely pleased with how that was. We also worked on the Greenway. We went ahead and actually, from the terrace lawn on down to 65, we finished that. And we've actually saw over $24 million invested in our downtown while I was mayor. Another thing that I really enjoyed while I was mayor was bringing jobs into the city. We brought in over 3,500 good-paying jobs to Jeffersonville while I was mayor. That was one of my strong points, and that's going to be another strong point once I become mayor, is making sure that we work with the businesses.
Finish your sentence.
Is work with the businesses, because they're looking at going to different cities, different states, and you have to work extremely hard to make sure that they come to Jefferson.
Thank you, Rob. Last on our panel, Mike Moore.
My name is Mike Moore. I am your county commissioner now, and most of you may know me from Jerry's Restaurant. The business has been in my family since 1963. My mom and dad started that with John Worley as partners, and I came along in '64. My wife Vicky here. This is the same room when we had our wedding.
Reception.
No, not the reception. The meal, rehearsal dinner. We had our rehearsal dinner right here 18 plus years ago. So I've got a little history here for us as well. I think there's a lot of good things about Jeffersonville. If I didn't think so, we'd find someplace else to live. I've lived around Jeff my entire life. Used to live over here at 226 East Park Place. We now live out in Steeplechase subdivision. And, you know, I've seen a lot of change in Jeff. A lot of good things. We love the riverfront and all the amenities that come from being on the Ohio River. Love Water Park. Love the Aquatic Center. There's a lot of good things that have been accomplished over the years, but that doesn't mean we have to settle with good. I think we can do better. I think it's time we had a little bit more accessibility to the mayor's office. You will find I'm probably going to be the most accessible public office holder you've ever seen. If you want to see me any day of the week, I'm up at Jerry's. My cell phone number is 502-295-3738. And I will take your calls any time of the day. If you look at the last 4 years of what I've done, I think you'll see a lot of the people who you may not recognize in the community, but the things I've been able to do and accomplish were with working with neighborhoods to get drainage problems fixed, get road repairs fixed. There's been a lot of work done in the past 4 years, and I hope you give me the opportunity to serve as your mayor. Thank you.
Thank you all. I guess I should have pointed out that the four people on your left are be running in the Democratic primary in May. Mr. Moore is unopposed, and so he'll be on the ballot in November, opposing one of the four people on his right. We have 4 toothpicks for some reason.
Five
toothpicks.
and whoever gets the short one is gonna start first, and then we'll rotate who's gonna get the question. That way,
Right.
not the same person gets the first question all the time. We'll start.
Thank you, dear.
On to the end.
Don't use the toothpicks. Purely
So far,
for the lineup.
well, how about that?
So,
Starting at the end.
did you get the shortest?
Yeah.
I did the shortest
I
one.
did.
All right, then our first question will be to Mr. Moore, and then the answers will proceed to your left from that point on. This is a question from the floor. Some of you have expressed opposition to the canal plan. Since the current administration has already started the process of appraisal and acquisition of properties in our neighborhood, if Mr. Galligan is not reelected, what would be your plan for the future of those properties?
Well, I think you just opened up something that you could look at several projects in the city of Jeff and see there are costs that have been incurred and permits still have not been obtained. The canal sounds like a good idea. Anytime you can show pictures of something from San Antonio or Indianapolis, you're going to put a good face on it. I think the details, though, of it are a little alarming, and especially, you know, being a candidate for mayor, I think there are questions that I should be able to get answered. And when I have asked one of the engineers doing work on the canal project to sit down with me and give me a little education on this whole canal business, he refused to do it. You know, I don't know if we can say the canal is a bad idea or a great idea. It depends on the cost of it. It has escalated ever since the beginning of the talk of it. And quite frankly, you know, with the level of income that Jeffersonville has, I think the number one priority before we do anything needs to be you get the input from the community and you find out the cost of the project. I'm not going to blindly go into a canal project not knowing how much it's going to cost. Certainly something needs to be done for the drainage, and something needs to be done to separate the sewer water from the storm water. But you know, to look at only one idea and say this is what we're going to do, I'm sorry, I live in Jeffersonville too. I want to be included in that process. Thank you.
Mr. Ways?
Well, I have a problem with it also, just with basically the cost of the canal. So far, we've seen quite a few different costs related to the canal. We've had the canal option actually start off at $29 million. Then it went to $65 million. Then we got a flyer that says $70 million. Then the Evening News says $144 million. WHAS says $144 million. Then the mayor just last week says it's going to be $50 or $60 million. These are huge numbers where we need to get a handle on. Unfortunately, under our underground option that we've been told, it's going to be $36 million. Then we hear it's $200 million, $135 million, another $200 million, and then it's going to be too much more than $200 million, so why even come up with any other quotes? I mean, this whole thing has been nothing more than a shell game. And we need to get the facts. And I'll tell you what the facts are. The facts are in this EPA long-term control plan that was sent from the city back in November. And back in November, it said that the pipe option, the underground option, is not $77 million, or it's not $200 million, it's $77 million. So we need to get a handle on this whole situation. I mean, these figures are just flying around in every direction. And I hate to tell you, I would think that the correct figure of the whole cost of this, I would hope, would be what the city submitted to the EPA. And the $77 million takes care of our CSO problems, which is a consent decree. It takes care of our flooding problem that we have to correct our downtown. And it also includes what the Corps of Engineers wanted was another lift station for any type of flooding. So, as I say, we got, you know, it's great to say,
Finish your sentence. Go ahead.
well, it's great to say that, you know, we got this, you know, tremendous idea, but I tell you what, saving $70 million for this town, that's the great idea.
Thank you.